Beaches in the town of Palm Beach have been eroding since the Lake Worth Inlet formed and was constructed north of town 100 years ago. The inlet stops the flow of sand from the north. That sand would normally provide wide beaches and protection for our barrier island from the Atlantic and ocean storms. The Palm Beach Civic Association has been participating in the shore protection effort for over 50 years and recently formed a joint shore protection committee with the Citizens Association to take on this important issue.
The Shore Protection Committee is made up of members from the Civic Association and the Citizens Association of Palm Beach. Our main purpose is to protect the shoreline, not to provide a recreational beach, but to provide a shoreline that is going to protect the barrier island from actions of the wave. That is the main purpose. Hurricane Sandy hit at the end of October. It was of such power that it caused wave action to hit our shores. So we had not only hurricane wave action, we had storm surge from hurricane, we had a lunar tide, and add that lunar tide, storm surge, and normal high tide together, and we had wave actions on our beaches and on the other side in Lake Worth Inlet, and the wave action ate away at existing beaches, the likes of which we hadn't seen in decades, if at all. The town of Palm Beach needs to be concerned about shore protection because it's a barrier island. The barrier island is susceptible to wave action. Beaches help contain that wave action naturally. They break on the sand in front of dunes, or if the sand gets washed away, the dunes will help counteract the wave action.
Beach restoration is a problem along the entire coast of South Florida. So recently, towns from the Lake Worth Inlet to the Boynton Beach Inlet and Palm Beach County formed to create a beach management agreement to smooth the path through engineering design and permitting for all. The town of Palm Beach is participating and has its own project priorities. To highlight the issues, the committee hosted a tour of town beaches for residents with town manager Peter Elwell and coastal coordinator Rob Weber.
It's only by seeing actually what the condition of the beaches are that you can see what the problems are as well.
You see firsthand the incredible difficulty that we all face.
The current Shore Protection Board has given to the town a 10-year projection of projects that are required, in its opinion, to undertake. One would include the groin rehabilitation, which would have groins that would be included would be from the inlet to just Sloan's Curves. These groins form from the beach out into the ocean, and usually not above the wave action but below as sand comes in. It slows down the action of movement of sand, which is why we have to be sensitive of how many of these groins are constructed. So there are 93 groins between the inlet, the Palm Beach Inlet, and Sloan's Curve. And they have to be evaluated in terms of which ones would be rehabilitated, which ones should be taken out because they're dangerous and a hazard, and which ones would simply be left to their own because they're being effective. The second project is the rehabilitation of Midtown Beach with the addition of another groin, which would be south. The third project was sand placement only in Reach 7. Reach 7 has been eroded, not only previous to Sandy, but by Sandy, has aggravated the erosion. It's appropriate that we do a project in Reach 7. It's somewhat controversial because there are those who live in the area that would like to see the placement of groins. However, the DEP has stated that they don't have enough data to monitor the area, and they want another sand fill project before they review the placement of groins. The fourth project in the BMA agreement is the extension of a pipeline, the building of a pipeline from the sand transfer plant down to Angler Avenue. That's meant to take the sand that is in the catchment area near the sand transfer plant and distribute it further down Reach 1, which is about 3,000 feet further than where it is, into Reach 2 so that it will begin to flow into Reach 2 naturally. But we have to make sure that we are taking a judicious effort in placing sand on the beach where it doesn't impact environmentally sensitive areas. In Reach 2, which is at Angler Avenue, for example, there is near-shore hard bottom or rocks where wildlife does exist in the ecosystem. It's part of the food chain. The reef that is contained near the breakers is also one of the prized diving spots in Florida. And in Reach 8, the same issue of nearshore hard bottom or rocks that contain part of the ecosystem, which is why fish come to feed and we see larger and larger fish. So it's all part of a food chain. So there's a balance in placing sand on certain reaches where they're not going to impact environmentally sensitive areas and protecting our shore. What type of shore protection should be undertaken and who should pay for it? Some feel that only those who live on the ocean should pay for shore protection. Others suggest that maybe fines and permitting fees should be used to pay for the shore protection effort. And finally, the county should step up and do more for shore protection. County, state, and federal money, I think, is one that's going to be stretched very, very thin over the next few years. And it's going to be something that you can't rely on in a municipality. If there is a tax hike, those whose house is valued the most will probably pay more for shore protection than others whose house is worth less. There's no other way to put it. Because we all benefit from those beaches, whether we use them or not. We know that it's going to cost money. People have to be patient and willing to protect the island. So everybody has to understand that a holistic approach has to be taken. The sand from the north end eventually will end up down in the south end. That's a fact. Whether it ends up slightly offshore or on the beach, it will end up in the southern reaches. We know that. All of the projects that we have recommended from the Shore Board have been vetted not only by the Coastal Construction Company, also by a peer group, and now it's being reviewed by the Woods Hole group. We don't know what Woods Hole is going to say, but they are a well-known oceanographic coastal engineering consultant who don't have any stake in the game in Florida because they don't have the ability to construct anything in Florida. They don't have a license. So they will have a truly independent review. So when they do come out with a report, I would recommend everybody pick it up, look at it, and read it, because that will probably end up being pretty close to a Bible.
The Palm Beach Civic Association stands ready to take on this important issue to protect and enhance the special quality of life in the town of Palm Beach. Join us and stay tuned for more.